So, hi friends, Jai Mata Di. This is Merchant Navy Decoded Chief Engineer Praneeth Mehta in front of you. Today we are going to take part 2 interview of Swayanjit Behra. I had taken part 1 interview with him where I had grilled him a lot. Today it is his second interview. Why? Because today is going to sit for his interview for one of the best reputed shipping companies very soon. So I thought, why not take another opportunity to grill him further and let's see how he performs. So Swayanjit,
Sure.
today I am
Yes,
not
sir.
going to ask you about yourself. If someone wants to know about you, they can watch part 1. Fine?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, Swayanjit, you have to be a bit louder.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's it. That's where I want your microphone to be. Fine?
Yes, sir.
Acha, Swayanjit, uh, the first question that comes to my mind is, uh, if the interviewer looks at you and says, Ki, Bhaiya, you look to me a bit fat, and
Yes,
what
sir.
about your, and this is not body shaming, guys, please understand, interviewer can look at you. If he does not say, he might mean it inside his mind. What are you going to do about it? Because this might show that you are not physically fit. It might represent that way. So any answers for that?
Yes, sir. I'm continuing with my sports. I also go for jogging. I'm trying to reduce my weight and also check on my diet. I have reduced my weight and I'm very close to the acceptable BMI of 25. Right now, I am running at 27.8 BMI. Also, the mass PT that we have morning in the curriculum of GME. So, undergoing that physical training will also further help me reduce my weight and also a control on my diet. So soon I'll be getting into the acceptable limits.
Okay, Swayanjit, everything is fine, but I think so you need to be more specific. Like, sir, in the last 1.5 months, 45 days, I have reduced 5 kgs, 4 kgs. I am doing this. Try to be a bit more
Yes, sir.
specific. Just don't give a
I
random
have
answer with the
yes,
stats.
sir. I
Okay.
have lost my yes, sir. I have lost my weight by 8 kgs in the past 3.5 months, and I have reduced myself from 80 to 72. So ultimately, I'm continuing. So by the time I take admission for GME, I'll be reducing it further by again say 3 to 2 kg. So because gradually the exercise has to be keep on increasing. It increases linearly and then it goes exponentially. So more effort I am putting right now. So now there will be a drastic reduce.
Okay, fine. So you use these words called linear and exponential as well. Very good. Chalo, fine. Chalo, Swayanjit, let's start with what is greenhouse effect. Very simple, basics से start करते हैं.
Sir, greenhouse effect is actually increasing the Earth's temperature. That is the gases that trap the heat of the Earth when it is radiated from the surface, and does not allow those heat to radiate to the space. So that is why the temperature of the Earth increases. So this is very similar to the greenhouse concept that we have. So that is why this is known as the greenhouse effect
Okay,
on Earth.
which is the gas which is most responsible for this greenhouse effect?
It's a carbon dioxide, sir.
Okay, and how is shipping field uh, is a part of this greenhouse effect? How is shipping field increasing this carbon dioxide emissions, CO2 emissions? How?
Sir, sir, actually CO is a major constituent, but also we have NOx, nitrous oxide. We have even carbon monoxide. Even we have chlorofluorocarbons. So there are many gases that we turn them as greenhouse gases, which are responsible for increasing the temperature of the earth. So from ship we use engine. There are engines. We have marine engines. So marine engines, they release NOx. They release out carbon dioxide, also carbon monoxide at some times. So they ultimately trap the heat from the earth and they increase the temperature of the earth. So this is how they contribute to the greenhouse effect.
So what is one particular way that in shipping field we can reduce CO2 emissions?
Sir, as far as my knowledge is concerned, we can reduce CO2 emissions. That is by using any alternate fuel, if it is possible to go for where the emission is quite less. We cannot come to zero, but we can reduce it to maximum, to the minimum. And like we use in engines, a catalytic converter. So catalytic converter plays a great role because carbon monoxide is nothing but incomplete combustion of carbon. So when in catalytic converter, it gets combusted to CO2. But in as compared to carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide is less harmful. We can control the temperature of the engine, because higher the temperature, higher is the NOx going to be released. So that can be done. So in order to have a proper temperature, we can ensure proper cooling system. So in this way, we can reduce the emission of greenhouse gases from the marine engines.
Acha, okay. Guys, right now when Swenjit is talking about SOx and NOx and everything, please don't get confused. He's at another level, and I hope he gets selected soon. But right now, let me come to, I'll explain in a very basic way. See, the fuel that we are burning, right?
Yes.
So what happens
Yes,
is,
sir.
air is there, is coming into the engine, fuel combustion is taking place. Fuel is made up of carbon and hydrocarbon chains. So this carbon hydrocarbon chains, when reacts with oxygen, forms carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, which goes into the atmosphere. Now carbon monoxide, first of all, we want less. Why? Carbon monoxide is more harmful as a greenhouse gas as compared to CO2. So we first of all want that our combustion should be very good. Proper combustion should take place, which Swenjit mentioned. So we want proper psychometric ratio of oxygen and air and fuel to be there, right? Proper combustion, right,
Right, sir.
Swenjit?
Right,
Now,
sir. Stoichiometric ratio.
stoichiometric ratio, yeah. See, I'm saying psychometric ratio, it is stoichiometric ratio. Thank you, Swenjit, for correcting me. Thank you very much. Jai Mata Di.
Okay.
Yes.
Fine, sir.
So, anyways, now what happens? I keep correcting me. I really appreciate that. So, what happens is now
Thank you,
this
sir.
CO2 that has been released. अब अगला क्वेश्चन ये कि चलो आपने अच्छा you have done good combustion, you have maintained proper thing, and so now CO is not being formed, only CO2 is being formed. Now you want less CO2 is to be formed as well. So what you do is you want less fuel to be burnt. So how can you achieve that? Now ship travels from say Mumbai to New York. Okay. Now say
Yes,
it's
sir.
a 25 days voyage, and you know that 25 days ke andar around, if I consume every day 10 tons of fuel, that means 250 tons of fuel is being consumed. Now what can I
Yes.
do to consume 240 tons of fuel, and I can save 10 tons of fuel? If I burn less fuel, that means less CO2 emissions will take place, and that is how I am also helping with the greenhouse effect, right? So what we do is
Right, sir.
we do proper planning. Ki bhaiya, which is the shortest way to go? If there is bad weather somewhere, we have to avoid that bad weather, right? We have to ensure that when our generators are running, they're running at very less load. So what we do is,
Right.
you are coming out of your cabin, switch off the light, run washing machine for lesser times, right? These are a few examples that
Right,
I
sir.
can give you where you can burn less fuel, right? So at the
Yes,
end
sir.
of the day, you are saving fuel and you're also emitting less carbon dioxide. Copy it, guys?
Copy, sir.
Now, guys, this question that is coming, another thing is, for proper combustion, you have to ensure that your engine performance is good. You have to carry out proper maintenance of your engine. Now, you must have seen my Activa sometimes when I do not do maintenance of my engine for say 6 months. So what happens is black smoke starts coming out. So now
Yes.
before, when my engine was in very good condition, for 1 liter of petrol, I could go for 40 kilometers. Now, when I'm not doing any maintenance on my engine, the black smoke is coming. For same 1 liter of petrol, I can go for say 20 kilometers. So basically for 40 kilometers, I'm consuming 2 liters of petrol. So that means my CO2
Yes.
emissions have increased twice.
Yes, sir.
So if you maintain your engines in good condition, that is where maintenance, our role comes into play as engineers. भाई हम engine की performance अच्छी रखेंगे, हम उसका maintenance अच्छा रखेंगे, and that is how you are helping with the greenhouse effect in shipping industry. Copied?
Copy, sir.
Very good, very well said. If Swenjit, you would have given this answer, I would have been very happy, and it would have been a selecting question. Guys, why I made it simple for you? Because if this cross question comes, go and get into this NOx and catalytic reduction, everything. This is for class 4 engineers. I don't know Swenjit ने कहाँ से पढ़ा है, ये तो मैंने भी नहीं पढ़ा है कहीं पे. तो
सर मैकेनिकल में था हमारा
हाँ, very good. I know
एडवांस
you
आईसी
studied.
इंजन 7th सेमेस्टर में.
Very good, very good. Well done. But guys, I will not get into those results right now because I don't think so. It is needed for getting selected. Chalo. Next question that comes to my mind is, why two different oils are used in main engine? That's a two-stroke engine, main engine, which is a big, huge engine, long stroke engine. why two grades of lube oils are used? Before that,
Yes, sir.
why lubrication is at all required? Why lubrication is important in engines?
Sir, sir, the highest priority point is that to avoid friction, first of all. Second is that lubrication also helps in cooling. And third is that it acts as a seal between the cylinder walls and the piston ring. That is the minutest gap that we have. So these are the three basic points that is preferred, that is taken care while using a lubricant, or lubrication is used for these three purposes.
Okay, very good. I'm impressed. Very well said. बहुत अच्छे वे में बेसिक में बोला. Good, very good. Now, next question. This should be a passing question for you. अगर तुम इसका अच्छे से आंसर दोगे, I'll pass you. Fine. चलो. Why two different oils are different grades
Yes,
of
sir.
oil are used in main engine? That's a two-stroke, long-stroke engine.
Sir, when the combustion takes place inside the engine, the fumes are generally alkaline in nature. Alkaline means we have two things, that this alkalinity is a kind of negative effect if I talk on a basic level. So they will hamper the engine parts. So two lube oils we use because the alkalinity may vary. So that is why this particular lube oil that we are using will reduce the alkalinity, so that it will come to a neutral stage, and then the damage that will be caused will be less. So that is why we prefer two different lube oils in marine engines.
Not satisfied. So I'm not passing you right now. But I have to give the answer to the audience. Let's see if you get satisfied, but I'll start questioning you. अच्छा पहले ये
Yes,
बताओ
sir.
मुझे Swayanjeet, the fuel that we use,
Yes, sir.
it has got carbon chain, right? Hydrocarbon chain, aromatic chain, right? That
Yes,
means it
sir.
has carbon hydrogen bond, and it has
Yes,
also
sir.
got sulfur inside, right? Now when this burns, it will
Yes, sir.
form सल्फर. जब बर्न करता है ऑक्सीडाइज होता है, क्या बनता है? सल्फ्यूरिक सल्फर डाइऑक्साइड, सल्फर ट्राइऑक्साइड.
Acidic होगा.
तो वो
Dioxide.
तो सल्फर
Dioxide
डाइऑक्साइड
बनेगा.
अगर वो वाटर वेपर
Yes,
से
sir.
रिएक्ट करेगा, व्हाट विल इट फॉर्म? सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड. So basically the fumes that are coming out, they're acidic in nature,
Acid.
not
Yes, sir.
basic, right?
Right, sir.
So when they are acidic in nature, and then they can cause on the liner acidic corrosion, which can wear out the liner, damage the liner, and
Yes,
these
sir.
liners are very costly. One liner can cost around 2 crore rupees. So you do not want to lose that liner, right? That's a lot of investment, right?
Yes, sir. So you have to add some alkaline
So we
substance.
have to
Yes, sir.
make it basic. We want these fumes that are going out, they should not be acidic. So for that, we add a lube oil for lubrication, which has got basic characteristics. It has got potassium hydroxide inside or calcium hydroxide inside. So it is basic in nature. So when it is basic in nature, it reacts with the fumes and
Yes,
make
sir.
it and neutralize it. So the acidic corrosion does not take place, right?
Right, sir.
And this cylinder oil is being, this oil
Got it,
which we
sir.
are talking about is being used between the piston rings and the liner when the piston is moving like this, right? Right?
Right, sir.
So this oil is called cylinder oil. What
Yes,
is
sir.
it called?
Right. Cylinder oil.
Yes, it is called cylinder oil, and it has got basic properties. And this then and now when this oil is being used with combustion gas, it becomes dirty as well, right? So we cannot use it again.
Yes, sir. Right, sir. No,
So it's a different,
we have.
it's a different grade. It's called cylinder oil. Now any other place where main engine lubrication is required? बताओ. Any other place
Sir,
where
could you
main engine
please
lubrication?
repeat? There is
Yes.
the.
Any other place in main engine apart from cylinder, liner, and piston where lubrication is required?
Yes, sir. Lubrication. It is required in your in the cylinder part as well as in the piston of the piston part and the connecting rod also, sir.
Okay, I'm listening. Continue. Okay, I'll start. Sorry,
Yes, sir.
Swayanji.
It is other than this, sir. Yes.
हाँ बोलो बोलो बोलो. Go ahead, please continue. Please continue, continue.
Yes, sir. Sir, I do not know much. So, in yes, sir. I do not know much in marine engines where it is used. Uh, I just know that it is used other than the piston. It is used in the connecting rod part as well as in the crankshaft part.
Crankshaft part, you can say in the bearings. Main lubrication is in the bearings, right? So what bearings do we have in main engine? We have got a main bearing where
Yes,
the
sir.
crankshaft is rotating inside. This is the main bearing, and the crankshaft is rotating inside.
Yes, sir.
We have got a crank
Yes,
pin
sir.
bearing. We have got a
Yes,
crosshead
sir.
bearing, and
Yes, sir.
also this lube oil is going
Yes, sir.
inside for cooling of the piston. ये piston rod के अंदर भी जा रहा है, right? And now
Right, sir.
this oil that we are using is in circulation continuously. ये यूज नहीं हो रहा, it is not in coming in contact with the combustion
Yes, sir.
gas, right? So इसके अंदर and it is not becoming acidic in nature. So जैसा है it stays like that, and that's why it is called crankcase oil. It is called crankcase oil. Okay, copied guys? And ये जो
Yes, sir.
crankcase oil होता है ये main engine के नीचे ही होता है. There is a big tank that is called main engine lube oil sump tank, and there's a big centrifugal pump called main engine lube oil pump, which circulates this oil into the bearings and everywhere. Again, for what? For cooling the bearings, for lubrication, and for reducing friction, right? As you said
Yes, sir.
before. So that's why in main engine there are
Right.
two grades of oil. One is for cylinder oil and other is crankcase oil. Crankcase oil is for bearing lubrication, and cylinder oil is for lubrication between the piston and the liner, right?
Right, sir.
So Anjit, now you have understood properly.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay.
Clear,
So
sir.
okay, very good. So Anjit, now my next question is, what is a relief valve? Now let's come to pumps. What is a relief valve and why it is fitted in a centrifugal pump?
Yes, sir. Sir, relief valve, actually, there are three different uh, points at a relief valve. One we have is the inlet part, which is active when the relief valve is in on position. And another we have is the discharge part. It is active when it is in off position. And we have another is the exhaust part. It is active when the relief valve is in hold position. So whenever we apply the signals, when the signals is transmitted to the relief valve, so and it is in on position, definitely fluid will start entering from the inlet part, and it will be discharged to the outlet. So in a centrifugal pump, I do not know its exact use, sir, on a centrifugal pump, but what I can make out from the basic principle of relief valve is that it should be used on the suction part, and the main principle of it is to control the flow, that is either into the pump or out of the pump
Okay, Swanjit,
based on
this
requirements, sir.
okay, sorry Swanjit, but this was completely a wrong answer as far as I'm concerned. I was not at all happy, and let me start it this way. Guys, when I talk about relief valve, Swanjit, now listen very careful, okay? Every day, every day early morning, our relief valve lifts when we get freshen up. There's a lot of pressure inside, and then we sit down on a commode and we release the pressure by lifting our relief valve. सबसे simple तरीका. Okay, Swanjit. Now let me come to a point. Now
Yes,
there is a pump fitted. Okay, it is taking suction and is discharging somewhere. Okay, now when I talk about, say there is a centrifugal pump fitted over here and there is a pipeline over here. Okay, and now this centrifugal pump के आगे जो pipeline लगी है, this can hand.
yes,
This
sir.
is a very thin pipeline. It can handle a pressure up to 5 bar only. How much pressure? 5 bar. Okay,
5.
but by mistake
Yes,
I put a centrifugal pump of capacity which can build up a pressure up to 10 bars. So what will happen if this pump is running?
yes, sir.
It can damage the pipeline, it can burst the pipeline, right? So in
Yes,
this
sir.
case I do not want the pressure of the line to be more than 5 bar because this pipeline will burst. So I put a relief valve in the discharge line of centrifugal pump.
Yes, sir.
In case if the pressure increases more than 5 bar, I will lift and I will release the pressure back to the suction side, and the it will be a loop, closed loop. Okay, discharge set will go back to the suction side. Copied?
Yes, sir.
Copied? Now, normally
Yes, sir.
this is to
Copied,
safeguard a
sir.
pipeline. But when we are on ship, we make thick pipelines. So over there, there is no chance that a centrifugal can build a bigger pressure than the pipe can hold. Okay. So normally in a centrifugal pump,
Yes.
there is
Yes,
no
sir.
relief valve fitted. There is no relief valve fitted
Okay, sir.
normally in a centrifugal pump, because in case of centrifugal pump is, if you shut the
Yes, sir.
discharge valve of the centrifugal pump will keep churning the water. The mechanical energy will start getting converted into heat energy, but pressure nahi badhayega. It will never increase the pressure. Centrifugal pump ki jo capacity hai, maximum pressure jo build up pressure 10 bars, it will build that. It will never go more than that. Okay, and it will keep churning the water. But
Yes, sir.
when I talk about positive displacement pump, it is positive displacement pump. So when a pump is running like this,
Displacement.
if you shut the valve in the discharge line, sir, this small pump can also develop a lot of pressure, and it will develop pressure till the time the pipe bursts or this pump bursts. Something will happen. So in positive displacement pump, there is always a relief valve fitted. In case if somebody, suppose there is a relief positive displacement pump over here, this is a displacement pump and this is a valve, and I shut this valve, then there is a relief valve fitted over here, so that in case if I've shut this valve and pressure builds up more than desired, then this relief valve will lift and it will release the pressure back to the suction side. And that's why it is called a relief valve, to relieve the pressure, to release the pressure from the line. Otherwise it can damage the pump, the line, anything. Copied, guys? Copied, Swayanjit?
Yes, sir. Copied.
Got it?
Yes, sir. Copied, sir.
अभी
Yes, sir.
और अभी
Got it,
इसका
sir.
एग्जांपल देता हूं. You have got a motor in your house. You have got a motor. क्योंकि मम्मी सुबह बोलती होंगी, switch on the motor, I want water to go into the tank, right?
Yes, sir.
That's a
Yes, sir.
centrifugal pump fitted over here. That's a centrifugal pump. You will never see a relief valve fitted over there.
Yes,
कभी
sir.
अगर आप उसका, if you'll shut the discharge valve, you'll see it will keep running and थोड़ी देर बाद will become hot. But if in case of a centrifugal pump, you put
Yes,
a positive displacement pump over there and you shut the valve, and you'll see the thing happening. You will see there will burst somewhere. Copied, guys? And that is why it is called positive displacement. कि हर बार I have to suck in
Copied, sir.
something and I have to pump out something. Copied?
Yes, sir.
Sure, अच्छे
Copied,
से.
sir.
Very good. चलो अभी एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे,
Yes,
because
sir.
this came out to be a bit lengthy interview. How many types of pressure gauges do you know?
Sir, basically, four types of pressure gauges. One is your Borden type, and second we have is a diaphragm type. Third is a bellow type, and fourth is a capsule type.
Okay, can you explain a Borden type pressure gauge? Borden tube type pressure gauge?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In Borden tube, pressure gauge works on the principle of Hooke's law, that is, stress is directly proportional to strain. So, whenever the fluid enters into the Borden tube, it has a fixed end and an open end. The Borden tube experiences the pressure of the fluid and it starts moving. So, that Borden tube is attached to the transmission mechanism and the pointer deflects and it shows the pressure.
Very good. For all you guys इनको Borden tube type pressure gauge नहीं पता है, watch on YouTube. You will see a lot of videos. Normally on board ship you will find Borden tube type pressure gauges, and a slight understanding is very very important for you guys. A simple example of a pressure gauge is when you go with your active or your bike or something, and you say, यार इसके अंदर please fill air inside, and he has got a pressure gauge over there, and see how much is the pressure, and he should not overfill or it should not be less as well, right? Right, Swenjit?
Right, sir.
Okay,
Right, sir.
Swenjit, can you tell me something about what's a compound pressure gauge, what's a vacuum gauge, and what's a pressure gauge?
Sir, compound pressure gauge will show you both kind of pressure. One is your gauge pressure as well as your vacuum pressure. And absolute pressure gauge will show you the pressure including gauge pressure and atmospheric pressure. Am I
Swenjit,
audible, sir?
yeah, you are audible, but you are getting confused. I'm so
Yes, sir.
sorry. देखो बेटा, understand one thing. There are only two types of pressures, three pressures:
Yes, sir.
atmospheric pressure, gauge pressure, and absolute pressure. And absolute pressure is
Yes, sir.
equal to atmospheric pressure plus gauge pressure, right? This is something
Gauge
different.
pressure. Right, sir.
This is something different. Gauge pressure is the pressure that you see in the gauge. Atmospheric pressure is the pressure that is exerted by the atmosphere wherever you are. And when I talk about absolute pressure, it is the
Yes,
net
sir.
sum of gauge pressure and the atmospheric pressure. This is something different. When I'm talking about what is vacuum pressure, what
Yes,
is
sir.
vacuum pressure gauge, or a compound pressure gauge, or a normal pressure gauge, I'm asking about when you go on ship, you'll find three kinds of pressure gauges. एक pressure gauge रहेगा which will start with 0
Yes, sir.
and will go ahead. That's a normal pressure gauge. It shows only pressure which is above the atmospheric pressure, right? It's a normal pressure gauge. Then you will have a vacuum pressure
Yes,
gauge,
sir.
vacuum gauge. It will start in opposite direction. It will start from 0
Yes,
and
sir.
it will go up till -1 bar. So it shows vacuum, 10% vacuum, 20% vacuum,
Yes, sir.
30% vacuum, 40% vacuum. So it will start from 0 from the opposite and go like this. Okay. And the third is compound gauge.
Yes,
Compound
sir.
gauge will show above 0 also and below 0 also. That's a compound gauge. All you guys, those who could not
Yes, sir.
understand what I'm saying, go on WhatsApp or YouTube, or sorry, Google Chrome, and find out the images, what a pressure gauge looks like, what a compound pressure gauge looks like, and what a uh, vacuum gauge looks like. You'll get a very, very good idea. Copied, Swenjit? You have to do that.
Copy, sir.
Okay, Swenjit. Two questions when we are talking about pressure. Uh, how much is 1 bar equivalent to in Newton per meter square?
Sir, 1 bar is equal to 10 to the power 5 pascals. That is equal to nothing but 1 Newton per meter square.
You sure?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. 1 bar. 1 bar is just a minute, sir. 1 bar is 10 to the power 6 Pascal, and
10 to the power 6
Newton per
Pascal.
meter square is termed as Pascal. Yes, so 10 to the power 6 Pascal means it is 10 to the power 6 Newton per meter square
Beta, it
is
is
one
1 bar
bar.
is 10 to power 5 pascals. 10 to power 5 pascals, beta, पहली बार. 1.01 into 10 to power 5. देखो जरा. Check करो. Check.
Yes, sorry, sir. One to right. Just a minute, sir.
No problem. Check yourself. I think our viewers need the right answer as well. Guys, until the time Swenjit is seeing the
Yes, sir.
answer,
Just a minute.
no problem. Just keep looking. Always understand, when I talk about pressures, you have to understand uh, pressure की कितनी units हैं. It's Newton per meter square. It's kilogram per centimeter square. It's pascals. It's in kp. It's in millibars. It is in bars. So, and pressure gauges can be of different ratings. It can be in bars, it can be in millibars, it can be in kpa, it can be in mpa, that is megapascals. So you need to know how these are defined, what is the value of each in bars and everything. So just keep an eye. If you can answer these questions in an interview, if the interviewer asks you, it will be a great thing. Yes, Venjit, you have come back.
Yes, sir. It is 10 to the power 5 pascals. One bar
Okay.
is 10 to the power 5 pascals. And 1 Pascal as Newton per meter square is nothing but the unit of Pascal. So since pressure was defined by Pascal, it is named after Pascal. So 1 Newton per meter square is equal to 1 Pascal.
So that means 1
So
bar
if
is
I'm
equal to
talking of
10 to
10 to
power
the
5.
power 5 Pascal, 5 Pascals,
So 1 bar is equal to 10 to
or
power 5,
same
5
as 10
pascal.
power 5
So
Newton per meter square.
yes, so I'll repeat once again. 1 bar is equal to 10 to power 5 pascals is equal to 10 to power 5 Newton per meter square. Okay. Swayanjit, will be the value of 1 megapascal in terms of bars? 1
So
megapascal.
1 megapascal will be equal to, yes, sir. 1 megapascal will be equal to 1 bar.
Guys, 1
1
megapascal
megapascal,
is
just a minute.
10
So
to
1
power 6.
megapascal is equal to 10 power 6, 10 power 6 pascals. And 10 to the power 5 Pascal is 1 bar. So it is nothing but 10 bars.
Very good. So guys, this is Swenjit, you are doing good, great. Bar, when you get a pressure gauge on board ship, you can get in bars, you can get in
Thank you, sir.
megapascal, you can get in kPa, you can get millibars. You need to understand ki kiski value kitni hoti hai, and you should be able to find out. Don't just ratify. Understand with basics. Copied? Swenjit, you have done great in
Yes,
a
sir.
few
Yes, sir.
questions.
Right now, it's solved. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Don't worry. You have done great in a few questions and you
Yes,
lagged
sir.
in a few questions. Since you have not seen a few of the things, you could not answer them well, especially about main engine, two-stroke engines. But I feel that you're going to do great and you'll definitely get selected. Guys, let's hope best for Swayanjit. And I hope once he clears his interview, we'll get a very good idea
Thank
what
you,
kind
sir.
of questions are being asked. Okay, fine, Swayanjit. Give your best shot. You'll do
Thank
great.
you,
I
sir.
have full faith in your capabilities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Jai Mata Di, Merchant Navy Decoded, Zindabad. Take care, bye. Guys, let's sail in friendly seas. Take care, bye.
Thank you, sir.